happens when you rebuild Manchester City over 10 years without Kevin De Bruyne? That's right, he's off to Napoli, and we're ripping this team apart to build something even greater. We're bringing in future superstars, Rayan, ait-nouri and Tajani Reinders, three massive talents who could define a new era. And yes, we're using that pep tactic we broke down on the main channel yesterday. But trust me, without De Bruyne, this will not be easy. The goal? Not just to win, we're building the most dominant team in football history. Fun fact, Man City's original name was Ardwick AFC, but today, we're going to rewrite their future. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Let's get into it. So then, it's quite safe to say I'm excited today because we are going to get a chance to see a bit of Man City's future. Now, first of all, this rebuild obviously is different to any other rebuild. We already are at a great stage in footballing history, but I will go over and say they've got a couple of downsides at the moment. De Bruyne's going, Grealish probably is going to be looking to go, Walker's going to go permanently somewhere. Even didn't enjoy the great season this year, did they really? So they're not in the best of best places compared to their usual standards, but of course, they're a step up on rebuilding like a Birmingham. So today it's more about how many trophies can win, but the same importance is actually what does the next decade look like for Man City. And today I'm hoping we can get a bit of a look at that. So do stick around because we're going to be bringing in several different faces. And also, speaking of new faces, we have done some of the transfers in the game. So we are going to welcome in 3 new faces into the first season. For the first time in a long time, this channel will have a first transfer window. Now, in terms of the reputation, training, youth and youth recruitment, it is completely flawless. We are Manchester City. The owners love the club and the money is absolutely mental. Now, I will go over and say right away, the players that we have brought in, we did obviously mention in the intro, we are going to go and talk about them in a second. Here they are. So the first one is going to be this man, the former AC Milan, of course, a very, very strong player. I have used the editor to bring him here, same as Serki, same as ait-nouri, same as De Bruyne even, because I'm unsure on the actual fee these players went for. So they are going to be here, but this is part of the actual challenge. So I will go over and say one thing. I think this man is an absolute pickup. I think he's going to be a great player for Man City. I really think he's good for their midfield. They actually have got a couple of older midfielders now, the likes of Gundogan, Kovacic, those sorts of players. Obviously, Calvin Phillips has got to go somewhere as well. I know in this rebuild, he will definitely be gone somewhere. He's still quite young, but Rodri is 27 even. I mean, it's not old, but, you know, bringing in players, you know, that are, for example, 3 years younger is a good idea to prepare for that next future generation. And I think him and Rodri will work really, really well, and he will be occupying that Roman playmaker role. Now, the next player is an interesting one. It's going to be Rayan. Some people love him, some people don't like him, some people think he's good, some people don't. I think he's quite a good player. Now, in this game, he's a Sky Bet Championship player. I will be forced to lock him in to even see what he can do. So I'm going to do maybe 2 seasons of him being locked in. Then he will have to fight for his main position. Now, realistically, I think this guy is a good pickup. He's very technical on the ball. He's a typical, what I like to call a Pep Guardiola player. Good ability on the ball, just good movement, and just got that, you know, that attack and danger that I think they probably need, to be honest with you. Man City still are in a great position. Let me tell you that for free. But last season, they were not the team they once were, and I think it is needed to bring in some new faces. And speaking of the last new face, the bargain of the season potentially, Rayan ait-nouri, the price tag I've seen rumoured for him is an absolute joke in a good way. Such a good left back, and I tell you what, perfect for Pep, can play the inverted role, a very, very good option, and in the game it's an added bonus for me because he naturally is quite good. And what a lot of people aren't actually clocking onto right now is the fact of Gvardiol can play centre-back for Man City, so you potentially can have Gvardiol there and ait-nouri there, which will be the plan for me. Now, obviously, Kyle Walker is not going to be in the team, so we are going to reintroduce Rico Lewis, and I mean, on paper, looking at it, to be honest, what we're probably going to do is going to play a team somewhat like this. So we'll lock in Serki for the first 2 seasons, so this is probably going to be our first team. Edison, Lewis, Diaz, Gvardiol, ait-nouri, Rodri, Reinders, Serki, Foden, Doku, and Erling Haaland. Pretty decent team, right? I want to say it's a pretty decent team. Of course, on the bench, you've got the likes of Marmoush. What a player he has turned out to be. Considering they paid what? I don't actually know how much they actually paid for him, but however much they paid for him, don't question it, because the guy is an absolute monster. John Stones, I'm probably going to move on in this rebuild at some point. Same with Gundogan, definitely the same with Grealish, same with Kovacic. Potentially the same with Nunes, although I've got a bit of a soft spot for Nunes. I quite like him. Oscar Bob, I'll try and keep around. Savinho, I really like. Bernardo Silva, I will keep until we get a ridiculous money fee. Then he can move to like a Barca or a Madrid or something like that in this game where he usually goes. Ake Gonzalez is a pretty decent backup DM, and of course very young, so maybe someone for the future. Phillips can go, Carson can go, Kabore can go. Yeah, I think that's pretty much the plan. So, right off the bat, this is a different vibe rebuild. We've got a decent team, but this is not about can we win, it's how much we can win, and what does the team look like after a decade. So, there is a good reason to stick around, because I think after a decade, we're going to be seeing quite a different Man City team. And also, we've got that element of like, are these transfers going to work out? For example, down the line, are we going to see Serki not get any game time after 2-3 years? He moves to a mid-table Premier League team, because I will let it happen. I'm going to let the transfers play themselves out. Now, in that first season, we are playing in 1, 2, 3, 4... Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 competitions. So, realistically, it's a whole lot of football to be played, but we're Man City. If we don't win the Premier League like they didn't in real life, and we don't win the Champions League, we might be doing something wrong. So I am hoping we can at least win, I'm going to go ambitious here, 4 out of the 7 trophies in this first season. We've lost Ederson, not Ederson, we are going to lose Ederson down the line, let me tell you that, but we are going to lose De Bruyne, we've lost him. Obviously, Jan Couto I do want to quickly talk about as well, just very, very quickly, because he will come back into the team, because I think he's a really good wing-back. But this new lease of players, for example, if you're playing back home, you probably wouldn't lock in a 2-star ability player. That's what I'm going to do. Rangers, you know, you might lock in someone different, for example. So we've not got necessarily our best 11 out, although that feels criminal saying that. We've got a decent situation, and obviously money-wise, if you are playing back home, you would have had £88 million. So you're good to go. And again, at any part of this video, you want to get this tactic, you want to get the rebuild file and all of these perks. There is currently over 200 tactics, about 90 rebuild files. You get ad-free viewing, which is really good on these rebuilds as well. Make sure you come and check out the Patreon right now as we look to close in on 6,000 members. Let's get into season 1. Right, so we are going to win the Premier League in Season 1, which is quite good because we are right off to a good start in this repairment of this Man City team. Of course, winning the Premier League has been somewhat of an expectation for them over the past few years. We are finally back on top, and we've done it quite closely with Liverpool, to be honest. Only 6 points behind, so still, we have got work to do to become a clear dominant team. A dominant team for me is, you know, 100 points plus, getting the job done, maybe going invincible, and with the facilities we've got at Man City, we can make that happen. Serki, the top assister. Man City fans, get excited. Phil Foden in 3rd place. Ederson in 2nd place. Erling Haaland, obviously your top goal scorer. That's good, but I want more than one trophy. I'm going selfish. The UEFA Super Cup against Sevilla, and it is going to be a great ball in from Serki there, and it is going to be a goal, I believe, from Rodri to go 1-0 up as we look to finalise this game as we do in the 77th minute with Bernardo Silva down the right-hand side. Plenty of space into Reinders, the new man. Plenty of space, and he gets his goal. Beautiful. What a win. But apart from that, we've got room for improvement because we actually finish not even anywhere near out of the Champions League group phase. We then get knocked out in the quarter-finals against Bayer Leverkusen on penalties, which is a pretty big shock. The FA Cup, we are going to lose 2-0 in. The positive, we do get to the final. Runners-up in the Community Shield, we lose to Manchester United. And as for the Carabao Cup, we are going to lose 5-3 against Arsenal. So this is an eye-opener because we still have won the Premier League, we've won the Super Cup, but this is actually quite good because it's not like we've come in and won 7 trophies in Season 1. We still have got to rebuild this team into a trophy-winning machine. So let's just go and understand what the players actually done for us before we start to nitpick at what we need to improve. So in terms of Serki, 10 and 29. Now he was locked in for every game. Now, he didn't play every game, but he would have played a lot of games. The same as ait-nouri with 1 and 6. if we put in the best 11, neither of them stay in the team. So both of them are going to have an additional season to be locked in. They are also being trained. Kyle Walker had a great season out on loan, but I am not interested in keeping him. So we are going to go ahead and just put Rico Lewis back there, and we will drag in this man, who's unfortunately injured for 12 days to 4 weeks. Not ideal. Diaz will play Gvardiol there, as we did, and we'll bring it back in ait-nouri. So we've got a decent performance out of both of the centre-backs. To be honest, Gvardiol a little bit stronger than Ruben Diaz. Ait-nouri had a great time there. This man, the former Milan man, he done okay, but not great. Now, it is his first season in this actual league. Let's just say that. And to be honest with you, is it his best role? It probably is up there with his best role, so the guy just needs time. Rodri had a stellar season. Bernardo Silva also had a good season, considering he was locked out of that main position he likes. Phil Foden, immaculate through the middle. Savinho had a good season. 67 and 9 from Haaland. I mean, you just come to expect it from him. The guy is an absolute menace. The guy is just an absolute bagsman in real life and in the game. Serki, as we mentioned, 10 and 29. Grealish, 5 and 7. Akanji, 1 and 2. Kovacic, 6 and 6. Doku, 8 and 5. That's good to see as well. Yan Couto had a great season, 6 and 8, which is quite good for us because we actually want him back into the team to go alongside of Rico Lewis. So that's a big addition to us. John Stones also done fairly well. Marmoush didn't get too much game time, but he's a player that I will never look to move on because he's just such a good player to bring on when you need him. And looking at it, it's not a bad season in the Premier League. We've got to be pretty reserved about that, okay? And the European stuff, that's the big disappointment. For the rest of it, it's a cup final, 2 cup finals here, you know. If they go our way, I probably wouldn't question this season as much. So I'm going to keep quite a level head just for this season. We have got a total of, oh wow, we've got 356 million to go and spend if we want to. I'm going to do my best not to go and spend it all on, you know, Vinicius, Rodrigo, Mbappe, Bellingham. We're going to try and avoid signing, you know, the potential Ballon d'Or winners and go more down a realistic path. That doesn't mean we won't sign, like, you know, a world-class player, but realistically, are we getting Mbappe or Vinicius? I highly doubt it. Q Season 2. Right, Kyle Walker is going to get his move to the Saudi League on 700k a week. That's some retirement plan, let me tell you that. But looking at him, he goes there and actually plays quite a fair few games. And gets an assist in 50% of the games he plays, which is absolutely remarkable, to be fair to him. He's still got a lot of pace, but it's sensible to move him on when you can get something for him, because I keep him for one more season. He doesn't play, he goes for free. John Stones, the man that once was Pep Guardiola's star boy at the back, not really much any longer. So he is going to go to the Saudi League, and he's just going to be able to survive on £1 million a week. £1 million a week for John Stones, and we get 56 million. So that quite extortionate price we paid for him back in the day, we have actually turned a profit on that, and he's got 16 assists. So I reckon he was playing at right back potentially, because to get 16 assists from centre back is some stat line. But with that sort of money, we can afford to bring in anyone else that we might need to, and it just offloads an older player that isn't guaranteed football anymore, sadly. We've kept it bold because you can see a load of other players here going out on loan, stuff like that. We have signed no one. So I'm not going to have this, oh, you only go and sign Vinicius sort of hype. We are signing no players because I thought, do you know what? We signed 3 players at the start of the video, right? That's a luxury in itself. But this now might come back to bite me. But to be honest, I ended up having about 400 million. I think that would kill the video quite quickly if I signed 400 mil worth of players in Season 2. Yeah, and I may have paid the price because Liverpool are going to be Premier League champions. Now, obviously, we can bail ourselves out if we win everything else. That will kind of balance the books out a little bit for me. But one thing I will say, Serki has been incredibly consistent again. The second most assists, behind Bernardo Silva. Phil Foden is flying, as is Erling Haaland. The goalkeeper not in the clean sheets on this occasion, which is quite annoying to see because he should be up there in my opinion. But maybe we sold a centre-back. Did we not have the best backline? Were there injuries? All of this sort of stuff could happen. That could have played a part. Right into the round of 16 of the Champions League, and we are going to get past Marseille 8-3. absolute dominance. Moving on to the quarterfinals, we are going to blitz Real Madrid 5-1. We have got a real chip on our shoulder from not winning that Premier League title. We are out for everyone. When it comes to the semi-finals, we're going to go and absolutely humiliate a team that has been humiliated recently in the Champions League, AC Milan. And we are playing Barcelona for the biggest prize of them all. Let's get into it. And we start that final after a very, very motivational speech in the worst way possible. We are going to go 1-0 down inside of 18 minutes from nothing what can be described as a great goal, to be fair to them. But we're Man City. We know what we can do. We have got some of the best players in the world, one of the best tactics, and we have got the mentality to make things happen. And when Barcelona are wrapping up a gift like that, we're going to take advantage. And we're going to go into the second half all tied up at 1-1. Rico Lewis, about 50 seconds into the second half, down the right-hand side, into Serki, beats Cucurella down the right-hand side, cuts it across, and that is going to be a glimpse of potentially what City fans can look forward to. A great start from Serki there, and he goes again, cutting inside, plenty of space. Carry on, look at this. It's absolutely beautiful from Serki. He's going to go through, and that is a statement. Champions League 1. We've also gone on to win the actual FA Cup. I say the actual FA Cup like it's a miracle. The FA Cup against Leicester. So a bit of an easier final, but I'm not going to complain. Carabao Cup, it would have been super nice to win, but sadly we miss out by this much. A 1-0 loss against Liverpool. And to wrap things up, the Community Shield, we are going to take home 4-2 over Liverpool. So it is still a very, very strong season. Despite not winning the Premier League, Champions League, FA Cup, Community Shield, I am going to take, because they're free trophies that, you know, we are going to need at the end of the day. It's nice to be back on top in the Champions League. And I tell you what, being on top, Serki, 12 and 36. We got to see so much of what he can do in that game. I'm so glad we actually got to watch the highlights of that, because the guy can be a danger. He cuts in so well here, gets into different areas, and he done such a good job for the second goal and the third goal. And if he plays a fraction well for Man City in real life, you're going to be loving him. Now, the overall team done a great job, guys, okay? This is without any new signings, obviously, from last season as well. We stuck with some of what we had, including the 3 new transfers. And Rico Lewis, 9 and 9. I mean, Guardia, where is ait-nouri? How did he do? 5 and 11. Really good from him. Gundogan, 3 and 7. Rodri, 17 and 15. Where is Reinders? 3 and 1. So, still not playing that well to be. He's playing well in terms of rating, but not returning that much in terms of stats. Bernardo Silva, 18 and 36. Very good. Foden, 14 and 20. And Haaland, the only time I've seen this is in a nap tactic on the FM Scout channel, gets over 100 goals in a season. Now, you've got to bear in mind, we got to a lot of latter stages in competitions, so we can stat pad for fun. That is one thing you've got to bear in mind. Every season, that probably won't be happening, but it's also Erling Haaland, so it might be. On the bench, Grealish, 5 and 6. Doku, 2 and 2. Guardia, 2 and 4. Gundogan, 3 and 7. Serki, 12 and 36. But we are now going to talk through plans for the future. What players are going to be transfer listed right now? First off, we are going to go with Jack Grealish. We are then going to go with Kovacic. We are then going to go with Gundogan. We are then going to go with Kabore. We are then going to go with this man here, McAtee, I believe is how you say that. Calvin Phillips, we are also going to transfer list, and I love the guy to bits, but Nunes also is going to be transfer listed, and also Ortega. So we are going to have a lot of business potentially going out, and if we sell 50% of those players, I will be forced to spend big to replace them. Now, in terms of players in the dev centre, Callum Doyle is in there. I know he exists. Don't worry, I'm keeping an eye on him just to see how he develops. If he plays quite well, I will consider getting him in the team. But right now, it's way too soon. In terms of next season, money, finance, we have got a budget of £483 million with very little debt. Now, of course, we didn't spend a penny last season. We generated like 50 million, and we have just won the Champions League and other competitions. So we have got endless money to go and spend. I don't want to go and spend £500 million in one window, but of course, if we lose players, I will go and spend money. Pretty straightforward. Well, I'm quite annoyed here because I offered Jan Couto about a 25% pay rise and he still didn't want to stay. Now, he would have got game time with Rico Lewis. Rico Lewis isn't guaranteed every minute on the pitch, but Jan Couto goes to Bayern on the free, which is Very annoying because one, I wanted him, and two, he holds good value. That is probably the only bad bit of business we've done so far. As for every other name I mentioned, we couldn't sell a single soul. They still remain. We have spent big, well, nowhere near our budget, but 103 million on Castello Luca Bea. Coming in from Leipzig, he plays a ton of games, scores 4 goals, a great average rating, and just, if you just look at him for a second, he is such a good centre-back, it's unbelievable. He's 23, and it just adds a player to the roster now, because in the upcoming seasons, we're not going to lock in ait-nouri to left-back. It might mean that Guardiol gets pushed out there for a few games, which means we need another world-class centre-back. And look no further, but that is going to be the only signing. So we had close to 500 million. We spent 100. We managed to reclaim the Premier League, so we didn't need to spend $500 million. I just think we needed a bit of a better season, maybe some stronger players like Luca Bea coming in. Just one will get the job done, and that has got the job done. Ederson back to the top with the clean sheets. Hey, maybe Luca Bea helped with that one. Bernardo Silva and Savinho are going to be in your top assists. Erling Haaland, the most player of the matches, 19 out of 38 games, by the way. That's some return. He dominates the goal scoring ranks, and honestly, he might go down for me. I know it's quite an obvious statement, but some people say Endrick, some people have got Isaac in their categories. He is, for me, the clear number 1 in FM. When it comes to goal scoring, you don't get much better than Big Boy Haaland. We are going to be back-to-back winners in the Champions League final. This time over PSG. We do win on penalties. It was an incredibly boring game, hence why we are going to watch another cup highlight, because this was quite a boring game. To get to the final, we did get past Real Madrid again, 5-4, or 5-2, sorry. So, I mean, that's actually a bit more of a thumping than what I thought. 2-1 over Marseille, a bit of a closer game. The round of 16, 3-1 over Porto. And the actual league phase, we win 100% of our games. We're now looking like a bit of a menace when it comes to the Champions League. And we are off for another game in the Super Cup, a chance to win another trophy, a trophy which I actually quite value quite up there, because you have to be European winners to play in it, and it's looking pretty lively. I mean, it's going to be a great start from Haaland inside of 68 minutes, and do you know what? Fair play to Newcastle, because they nearly get their way. Nearly, but unfortunately they don't. Kovacic over the top into Haaland, and that is one of the more ridiculous finishes I have ever seen in Football Manager. A 2-0 lead, and all Newcastle can, you know, I'm not going to slate them because they've won a European trophy to get here. They've played quite well, and they do grab a little goal here, but it just meant nothing. We're going to win it again. Also, I'm going to lift the Community Shield again on penalties. So this season, we have really been the team that you got to fear if you're playing on penalties. Unfortunately, the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup are a bit too much to get done. And actually, I'm going to say very early exits for both of the competitions. 4th round against Arsenal, quarterfinals against United, and looking at it on paper, genuinely not that strong in these English competitions. But when you win the Premier League, the Champions League, the Super Cup, the Community Shield, you can only be so annoyed. Do you know what I mean? You can't be absolutely fuming with what you have done, because you have done quite well. And I mean, the fact we've won back-to-back Champions League is a real big statement in Europe. The fact that we're now winning Premier League titles, we just need to keep winning them back-to-back, because I want to turn this team into a team that wins minimum 5 trophies a season. That's what I want to try and achieve. So if we can do that, become the best team ever in football, I can walk away pretty happy from this video. Now, money-wise, we are going to have a budget of 460 million to go in and spend again. Where we're going to spend that, we can now go and see, because for the first time ever, ait-nouri, Serki are not going to be locked in. Now, this is interesting, because Reinders was not locked in, and he actually does get into the team filtered by the best 11. He now might be coming into his own. 10 and 10, a pretty decent season. 20 and 25 from Silva. Foden 14 and 12. Savinho 12 and 24. 90 from Haaland. 4 and 9 from Grealish. Akanji 2 and 6. 2 and 5 from Kovacic. ait-nouri 0 and 1. How many games does he play? 8 games. That's the lock-in danger. I can't lock him in for life. It's not how football works. Rayan Serki, 7. It's a fall from grace. But I give him enough time to adapt to the Premier League. I can't lock him in forever, guys. If you disagree with me, by the way, please leave a comment. But I just think if I'm going to lock in players forever every single time, it's a bit unrealistic, you know? Yes, they can not play if they've got an injury or they're tired, something like that. But I mean, I don't think it's fair to lock them in all the time. So sadly, this is now going to be a bit of a realization of who can swim in the ocean and who's going to drown. So it is what it is. It's football, sadly. But overall, very happy with the team. I mean, there's obvious areas that we are going to have to look to in the future. You can even argue DM, right? I mean, Rodri is now currently 29. Still got about 3 years in him, to be fair. But we've got Kovacic, Gonzalez and Phillips. Considering I want to sell 2 of them, we need to bring in another backup at bare minimum. Right back, we've now got Rico Lewis, and that is it, really. I don't like Akanji at right back, so we are going to need another right back. Centre-backs, we've got Luca Bea and Diaz. I am going to consider selling either Ake or Akanji to bring in a younger option, and that will be another centre-back being required. Left-back, we've got Gavadio and ait-nouri. And as for the wingers, we are actually quite good. Although, we are looking to try and sell Jack Grealish, but I think we still would be quite good in terms of rotation. So, let's get into the next season. After winning 4 trophies in Season 3, that's pretty decent so far. I can't believe what I've seen with my own eyes, people. Reinders had one of the best seasons he has had in a Man City shirt, and he wanted to leave. And do you know what? The price tag we got for him in £50 million, I'm going to take. Because it's money back into the team, so that is one of 3 transfers technically not working out. He was given a chance to shine in the first 2 years. He showed like an absolute diamond in the last season, but he decided to go to Everton. And I don't know why. I wish him the best because he's a great player, but genuinely not what I was expecting. So goodbye to one of the new men already. But we're going to replace him with Camavinga, who comes in for 130 million. Now, he is by far the better player, don't get me wrong. A bit of a different role, but we can make him work. And I will say this as well, he can also cover left back. So we are now going to have a range of very versatile players, which is very, very helpful. But this guy has been brought in to play in midfield, not at left back. If he does play at left back, I'm not going to be annoyed because he can play it quite well, but that is going to be quite an expensive left back, whereas I put that money realistically for him to be a midfield player. But Camavinga is going to be flying the sky blue flag. We're then going to welcome in Inacio, coming in from Bayern for £108 million. He only plays 11 games, and it sounds toxic to say this. He is a backup player, and it's toxic because we spent over 100 million, but we've got the funds to do it. We're Man City. We've got the money to do it. And this guy isn't a backup in terms of that he is bad, but when everybody's fit, does he actually get into the first team? Most likely not. Now, he can grow a little bit, so potentially, a few years down the line, he can do. But at the moment, he is just a better option to have at the back, alongside of, you know, the several world-class centre-backs we have. And he was also available on the market. So, welcome Camavinga, welcome to this man. 2 very big names. And despite the loss of the new man from AC Milan, we have brought in a better midfield player. And we are going to go back-to-back in the Premier League, which is really good to see. Very, very good to see. Our first time doing it since I've been here. Erling Haaland, once again, your top goal scorer. We're going to have Ederson, 3rd place for the clean sheets. Savinho, Bernardo Silva, 1st and 2nd when it comes to the assists. And once again, we're going to absolutely lock out the average rating. Every single player in the Premier League that is rated the best, I played at the Etihad. They are going to win the Super Cup once again, make that 2 times now back-to-back. And I tell you what, this one's become a little old now. They're also going to win the FA Cup again, 3-1 over Tottenham. And I can tell you something now, that is now 2 times inside of 4 years. So a 50% strike rate is not too bad. And we must have clutched up big time in extra time by 2 goals, so we'll take that. Apart from that, we didn't really win too much else. The Champions League is a big fall from grace. We are going to actually go out in the quarterfinals, so that's quite a step back. The Carabao Cup, a 3rd round exit, and the Community Shield is just going to be runners-up. So we are going to take home 3 trophies over the season. Now, to me, the Premier League holds significant importance. It really, really does. But it would have been nice to, you know, link the Champions League in again, and we are still quite a bit off being that super team that win pretty much everything back-to-back seasons. And that's fine, because we are still very, very, very early on into this Man City rebuild. And I look at the players that we have got on paper, and this is where I would argue this rebuild becomes quite hard, because at the end of the day, every one of these players is world class in their own right. And where do you spend money? who do you sign? And that's going to be the tough question, because looking at this team on paper, you can win everything with this team, but there's always somewhere, some little thing that you might want that you haven't got. And bearing that in mind, we have got a budget of 409 million pounds. So once again, money is no issue for the Man City boys, but we are not looking to sign players just for sake of signing them. What we need is for some of these transfer listed players to be sold, because then I can replace them with better young players and start preparing for the future a little bit, because there are players that are going to get older and have to leave before this video ends. Ederson, Rodri, several other players, Bernardo Silva coming up quite shortly, I imagine. There's a lot of players in here that need to be moved on, and we've got the money to bring in some proper good world-class young talents, but I'm not going to sign them before we can offload. Right, we have had a big offloading session, and it's come at the right time, because Akanji, great centre-back, now getting to the older side of his career, he is going to still go for 27 million. A big bit of cash coming in, almost double to what we paid out for him. That is a great bit of initial business. Okay, again, same as Akanji, good centre-back, coming to his older stage of his career, the right time to sell him. He is going to be sold for 27 million, so we are going to lose a bit of money. We were never going to recover 41 million, obviously what Man City paid from Bournemouth, but I mean, to be honest, nearly 30 million pounds is not a bad bit of money to come back into the team, and again, it only helps fund more transfers. We are going to look to sell Francis Babatunde to Arsenal. I believe we sold him to. Finally goes to Arsenal. He's been out on loan a little bit. To be honest, he might be a good prospect in this game, but we'll never get into this team and building a super team. I'm going to take 12 million when I can. We are going to wave goodbye to Ortega. The German keeper goes to the German league for 1.4 million, and he concedes quite a fair few goals. He is at the right end stage of his career, but just with those outgoings, not only have we generated money, we've freed up wage, and it gives me the green flag to go and spend big. I've gone and spent big because we've had to spend a bit more on getting Trubin, because he actually went to Chelsea as well. Now, we kind of spend big, quite big. 79 million pounds after one season is pure cash flow for Chelsea, but he did have one of the best seasons out of all the goalkeepers in the league, so it is a bit of a banker, to be honest. But for us, he only plays one game this season because Ederson still is here. Now, Ederson will be sold forcefully if he doesn't want to leave. I will kick him out of the team next season, but this season he stays put. Carlos Baleba is going to come in for another midfielder option for a total of 104 million pounds. He plays 17 games, drops a very good average rating, and he just offers a lot. Now, I know I signed this guy quite a lot, and it's for a good reason. He always delivers. He always delivers. He's great technically, mentally, physically. He is such a well-rounded player. You can't not get him. 27 million, welcome in Pau Kabasi, coming in from Barcelona, as I said, for a bit of money, to be fair. 27 appearances. Now, this guy's an interesting man, because mentally, he's pretty much got everything in the yellow. Same for physical. He is a world-class elite centre-back at the age of 21. That's a fact. But there is also a world where I can turn him into a DM, and he could become the perfect Rodri almost regen. So that's also up in here in the dome to do that with him. So we have really planned this transfer through. And lastly, can you guess who? If you did, you're a genius, because no one would ever bank this signing. We are going to pick up Martinez from Girona as a temporary right-back backup, a temporary option. He might even leave in a few seasons. He is purely there just to have as a set of legs if we need another right back. There is no real reason apart from him looking semi-okay. He was cheap and cheerful and somewhat fitted the system as an inverted wing back. Other than that, that's it. We are going to win the Premier League again, and we nearly go invincible, only losing one game against Newcastle, which is absolutely lovely to see. Erling Haaland, your top goal scorer again. Ederson, your most clean sheets. We are going to have Savinho and Phil Foden in there with the assists, and this is now going to be 3 times back-to-back. Oh yeah, we like it. Also going to be in the Champions League final against Real Madrid. Now, we have never struggled against them in the knockout stages, so I'm quite confident, and we probably should be, because we are about to go 2-0 up. Just this is just after the first half ends, to be fair. But in about 46 minutes, I mean, can someone describe to me what is that goal? Comment below one word that describes that goal, because I've got no idea what I've just seen. This moment here was a bit of a moment to forget for the new man. In fact, I'm not even going to talk about what happened. We're just going to watch it happen. Yeah, it's not nice, so we'll ignore that happens, because that could have cost us quite big if we didn't have such a good attack. With Bernardo Silva down the right-hand side, plenty of space, a little cut through into Rodrigo, plenty of space across, loads of space. Madrid are falling apart once again, and that is going to be a 3-1 lead as we go on with Luca Bea into Camavinga. Oh, that's risky, but somehow it's paid off. Erling Haaland is going to go through. Yeah, the guy is a cheat code. We also go on to win the FA Cup in 2-1 fashion over Manchester United, and the Community Shield 4-0 over Tottenham. So that is going to be 4 trophies won. Sadly, the 5th trophy doesn't come into play because we do lose the Carabao Cup against Tottenham in the quarter-finals. But realistically, a very, very strong season. Premier League, Champions League, FA Cup, Community Shield. It's a quadruple winning season, and the money's going to follow. I mean, we are still going to have 327 million with basically no debt to our name at all. So financially, we're always going to be sound. That's a pretty easy fact to understand. When it comes to the team, we are building something special here, and there's not too much to talk about, to be honest with you, because the team talks for itself. The only thing that I will say is we have still got several players that I want to sell that are quite obvious. I don't want to sell Silva, but he will be getting sold at some point because he is now 33. I don't want to get him to 35 and he goes on the free. So he will be getting sold at some point. The same can be said for the likes of... Where is Jack Grealish gone? I think Jack Grealish may have gone mid-season. Let's go to the transfer window. Right. So I may have actually forgot to mention, Grealish went to Leicester on the free. That shows how little he actually meant to the club. I'm going to be honest, I didn't even notice he was gone. That kind of shows his impact on the team. But we replace him, if you play him centrally, that would be him being replaced, in Xavi Simons. He's going to come in for 102 million, 31 goal contributions out of 35 games in the Premier League, and you just know what you're getting, okay? We have now got Xavi Simons, Foden, Bernardo Silva, Serki, who can all play centrally. It's an okay roster. And for 120 million, a new face to this entire channel, as we have never signed him before, Samuel Illing is going to come in from Aston Villa. Now, he does quite well, 12 goal contributions, but he was signed for loads of reasons. First one, he's still semi-young. Second, he is English. Thirdly, he's very versatile. Fourth, he's very quick, very good on the ball, very technical, and the 5th reason, he actually wanted to join. So there was 5 very justified reasons. Now, I will say we have spent big this window, £222 million to be exact, but we have got 2 world-class players. We are going to win the Premier League with 100 points, which is absolutely incredible. You can now make that 4 times on the bounce, Haaland dominating the rankings, and he is now going to score more goals because he has got Phil Foden, Simons, Silva, Rodri in the top assists. We're a nightmare for the Premier League. Nobody can compete. This team is in a world of its own. We also are going to go on to win the UEFA Super Cup 2-2 on penalties over Napoli, the Community Shield 4-2 over Aston Villa. But the reason why I'm showing you in a bit of a quicker way now is because this season we failed to win the Carabao Cup, FA Cup, Champions League. We failed to win 3 pretty big trophies. So as a grand scheme of things, my sort of want for 4 to 5 trophies a season has not been met once again. I'm trying not to sound petty because, you know, we are winning trebles pretty much every season, but when 2 of the trophies are the pre-season ones, it doesn't hit the same. Though, I mean, we can be nothing but proud with these lads, okay? They're doing a great job, and we're now seeing this happen. The man that was signed for a centre-back is going to jump in to DM The guy who was signed to play DM is playing left back. The guy who was signed from Pep to play left back is now playing at centre back. It's a complete reshuffle, but it works really, really well. So your first team now is Ederson, Lewis, Diaz, Gvardiol, Camavinga, Kabasi, Rodri, Silva, Simmons, Foden, Haaland. It's a world-class 11. And to make it even more world-class, we are going to have a budget of £270 million. And we are edging towards what I like to call the regen era. Right, well, sadly, what has happened with Bernardo Silva is he has gone on the free. Now, it's not a negative because, I mean, we spent 44 million, yes, but look how much he has done for me in his time at Man City. We've really milked what we can out of him, and he still goes to Barcelona and enjoys a great season. But, I mean, nothing but love for the guy, man. I mean, he has been a world-class player since minute one at Man City, and he's done so much for me over the years. And if he wants to move on to Barcelona, fair play to him. But we take one of theirs. It's an eye for an eye. You take one of ours, we take one of yours. Gavi is going to sign up to the Sky Blue Monsters for £100 million. 21 games being played, a decent average rating, although not perfect, and quite surprising, he doesn't get a goal or an assist. That's the bit that gets me. Now, he would have been playing in one of the deeper positions. He would not have been playing AM because we've got really world-class players there, and he does actually occupy the deeper area quite well, to be honest. As players go, you don't get much better, and I think of the options we've got in midfield right now, and we might have locked out every world-class player because we have got some serious options. And for a backup striker, I know, privilege, right? We are going to sign Samu, coming in from PSG for 87 million. Now, he only plays 2 games because Haaland stays fit, and I've seen some of the highlights. Marmoush actually got ahead of him for some of the games, so that's quite interesting as well. But we now know that if Haaland has a broken leg or whatever happens, we have got a leading Premier League elite striker just ready to come on, just sat there doing his warm-ups. And that puts me in a very comfortable position. We carry on winning the Premier League, and this time there are going to be 2 Man City players in the top goal scoring. I can't get rid of Ederson, by the way. I know I said I'd force him out, but I'm not going to forcibly terminate his contract. I've tried to transfer list him so many times because he is now getting a little bit older. He is now 36, so I imagine retirement is pending, but that topic to one side, Samuel is going to be in the top goal scorers, behind Erling Haaland, Xavi, Simmons, Foden, Samuel in the assists as well, and this man might be one of the player of the seasons. What a man he is. What a player he actually is, and what a season it was. That is now going to be 5 times back-to-back. Community Shield, we are also going to win, making that 3 times back-to-back, and again, we are going to win it on penalties, but do you want to know something? Get ready. That is the only thing we win with the Premier League. 2 trophies. So we've not been good enough for me in these competitions. The Carabao Cup, we've actually not even won yet, which is not good enough. Not good enough. We've not won the Carabao Cup once. The FA Cup, I feel like we've got to more finals than I've had hot dinners. We have got to quite a fair few. To be fair, we're doing okay in the final conversion rate. The Champions League, we've done okay in over the years, but we're now having a bit of a drop-off in that, and we're conceding 6 goals to PSG, and we bottled that in the second leg, big time. The Premier League is the Premier League. That's now our trophy. People may as well not even play in it. We are absolutely incredible. But these 2 competitions, this one here, is really frustrating me. I want to win a Carabao Cup. That's a sentence, right? I'm prioritising the Carabao Cup next season. No one has ever said that, I don't think. Going into the tactics, though, again, I can't really fault the tactic because we are winning a lot of stuff, and the stats that's getting out of the players is incredible. Camavinga's now nurtured his role as a left back, which is fine, I guess. Rico Lewis 4 and 8, Diaz 8 and 5. This man here, 16 and 17. He was brought in to play centre-back, but now is incredibly comfortable in midfield. That was a really intelligent signing. Rodri doing his thing, this man doing his thing, this man. Everybody doing their thing, man. I mean, Savinho still playing well, Gavi doing well. It's really a good season. How well is Truben Copen? He's doing this fine. He is now 28, though, so he is getting older, but he has played hardly any games since joining, and he is still keeping the same ability, which is quite helpful because Ederson has to retire soon. But we'll get into the next season with our small budget of £177 million, and we'll go and see what we can do because I think we're now at a sort of point where if we look at the rotation we have got, so Ederson, we've got Trubin. When Ederson retires, I'm going to promote a guy called, I think it's Spike or something Brits from the younger team. I'm going to get him in as a backup keeper. We have got Rico Lewis. We have then got maybe a better right back in terms of backup. That's a position. Centre backs, we have got Luca Bea, Diaz, Guevardio, Inacio, Kuzanov. We have got good options. Left back, we've got Camavinga, Guevardio, ait-Nouri. Midfield, you've got Camavinga, Rodri, Kabasi, Gavi, Baleba, Nico Gonzalez, AM, Simmons, Gavi. You've got a lot of players here. Foden can play there. And up front and the wingers we're obviously covered. So, genuinely, right back's the only position we really need as a backup, or a world-class player, and then Rico Lewis would become the backup. Well, we somehow get money for a 37-year-old goalkeeper. Ederson is going to go for 9 million. Now, he has been a club legend, and I will use that word, but his time has finally come up. Trubin's ready to replace him. We already had that in our head. Instantly going to need a replacement, but Madrid to spend that sort of money, I mean, it's not a lot of money, 9 million for Madrid, but on that goalkeeper, they must have been in desperate need. And we signed no one, so we are going to lose 3 players there. We signed nobody because there was no right back on the market that actually met my needs. So we are going to go in with the exact same team, minus Ederson. Champions League again is going to be an exit in the quarterfinals. It feels like we had our real good time in the Champions League, and that was it. Now we just can't get to a final. The Premier League, we are going to win again, making that 6 times now, back to back. As I said, this is our thing right now. 53 goals from Haaland, Xavi Simons with 16, Trubin, the most clean sheets, Phil Foden, Xavi Simons, Samuel going to be in there with the assists as well. And again, it is a Man City lockout when it comes to the average rating. Genuinely, the Premier League, it's Man City's. And it will be for the rest of the seasons, I imagine. We've built a powerhouse. It's the Carabao Cup final, and this is going to be my Champions League. A great start there against Tottenham from Rico Lewis, who maintains his spot in the starting 11. Keep an eye on this from Tottenham, because usually they can't play out from the back, and it's going to be a mistake, I think. It is Erling Haaland, open net, mistake from Tottenham. A 2-0 lead, and are we finally going to have our hands on the Carabao Cup? It is looking more than likely. Simmons into Samuel, into Haaland, a 3-0 lead, and surely we can't bottle it. Well, we do bottle a clean sheet, but not the overall game. Tottenham are going to get a goal here with a great ball in and a great header, but we are going to be Carabao Cup winners. On top of that, a 3-2 win in the Community Shield over Tottenham Hotspur. Tottenham just can't get the job done in cup finals, which, I would say is a given, but look what happened in the Europa League. Clearly not. But we have finally won the Carabao Cup. We have won the Premier League again and the Community Shield. The FA Cup runners-up again. Again, we've had several seasons like where we're 1 trophy off doing the quadruple or 5 trophies. It's if buts and maybes with this team at the moment. But overall, I am happy to win the Carabao Cup. But should it have taken me this many years? No. No, it shouldn't have done. And we have only been in the final 2 times over this spell. So we've not even been unlucky, really. We just haven't been good enough in that competition. The players have given everything this season, and I mean everything. Haaland's become relentless, as he always has been. He is now 30 years of age, but of course, Samu can step in when he needs to. 5-1 from him this season. Gavi 5-5. 2-1 coming in from Inacio. 8-15 for Savinho, Doku 11-12, 2-1 for Martinez, Baleba 4 assists. I mean, genuinely, this team, the players in this team is what I'm trying to say. They can only be replaced by sort of new gens in the game that are just absolutely broken. So, for example, at right back, it's going to have to take some right back of a new gen to come in and replace Rico Lewis. Apart from that, I don't even know if there's going to be good enough new gens to come into the team. Of course, we can still strengthen the bench with new gens, with new faces. We are going to have the money to do that. We've got over 200 million, so we can go and make that happen. But it's going to have to take some pretty, and I mean some pretty, special players. We are going to wave goodbye to Núñez. Now, this is not the most heartbreaking goodbye because I really like him, but he just didn't play any games. So we are going to take the £9 million from the Saudi League, but we've lost someone someone a lot more influential. Marmouche. Now, he is going to be 33, so it's fair game. You know, he is coming up to almost the retirement years. He goes to Leicester, so they took Grealish, they take Marmouche. He has a great season as well in the Championship, so he is taking a bit of a step down, but why not? He's proven himself, hasn't he? Have a chilled out life now. And we have got a better right back. Now, he's not a new gen. He is a very well-known player from Barcelona. Hector Fort. He is a little bit better than Phil Foden. Phil Foden? Rico Lewis. Where has Phil Foden come from? Better than Rico Lewis. Now, when you say better, you pay for better. 78 million. 4 assists, 3 goals, a 7 average rating. And you know what? Him and Rico Lewis are going to make a perfect duo, because Rico Lewis can now also play in midfield very comfortably. I have been training him sort of on a one-to-one basis to make that happen in case this day does come where maybe Rico Lewis isn't guaranteed first-team football at right-back. He can be a rotation between right-back and central midfield in that Roman playmaker role, and we've now got a nice hybrid team of players that can play left-back, DM, centre-back, DM, centre-back, DM, right-back. We have got players that can fill in for each other, and that is the key to success. On top of that, we've signed Emery, who is another player who can actually play right back if you really wanted him to. So I'm going after players that are world class, way under 30 years of age, very versatile, so we can all have different turns in different positions and really help the team out, because at the end of the day, injuries are a nightmare in this game, and if you can build a semi-young, world-class, flexible 11, you are going to be in the best place possible. And he cost me big. He cost me big. There's no hiding that. He cost me big every week. He's nearly on 600k a week, but he is a prime player who has been playing very well for one of the best teams in Europe. And it is a big moment in the Champions League final against United, as it is going to be none other than, get ready for it, Hector Fort winning it in extra time. What a statement. Also go on to win the Community Shield 2-1 over Arsenal with goals from Haaland and Starboy in midfield. League, we are going to go again and win. You can now make that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times back-to-back, 8 times out of 9 years. A very, very good, very consistent ratio. Trubin, again, top clean sheets. Xavi Simmons, again, most assists. Samuel coming in the second most. Phil Foden the third most. I mean, I feel like there's just been no competition in this league. I mean, let's just go and have a little recap over the past years. 99, 95, 85, 98, 78, 100 to 81, 97 to 81. Yeah, there's been no one really give me any threat. So it's been a consistent just domination. Now, again, get ready, because these 2 trophies we have not done well in again. 2 times now. It's just, why can't we win them consistently? If we can win these trophies consistently, we could have endless quadruple 5 trophy seasons. But apparently the quarterfinal is as much as we can handle, which is an absolute embarrassment, to be honest with you. Meaning, going into the last season, we are going to have a budget of about 100. Let's actually equal out the wage, so we can't even do that yet. But we're going to have about 160 million, I reckon, to go and spend. We have promoted Brits to backup goalkeeper. He doesn't play too many games, but he is a decent Premier League goalkeeper. Realistically, I'm happy with the team. Every position I'm happy with. I'm happy with the backup. The only players you'll see coming in now, most likely, would be like a mad new gen that I'm signing for your sake, for the Patreon sake, that want to play with them in the future. For me, this team on paper, they can win everything. We just need to make it happen. And we have lost another giant to Real Madrid. Now, similar to Bernardo Silva, I could have probably got 30, 40 million for him, but I decided to get the most out of him. Keep him for as long as I can. Ruben Diaz goes to Real Madrid on the free. They're going to get 1 year out of him top, so they're not going to gain that much from him, and they are paying him 190k a week. He played for us for so many years, and yeah, I could have recovered 30, 40 million. I most likely could have done that, but I wanted to extract every season, every game out of him, because he is such a good centre-back. £30 million, we are going to welcome in Renzo Hardy, a new gen for your sake for the rebuild. That is going to be a player coming in for 30 million, 7 appearances, 1 assist, and drops a 6.86 average rating. This man is perfect for the future. He is, firstly, already a very good player, tons of potential. He's got the aggression, he's got the determination. He is going to become A bit of a Roy Keane vibe, which is quite funny to say in a Man City team. And the last signing of the video is going to be Jarell Hato, coming in from Inter Milan for 46 million. And yes, it is a Diaz replacement. Yes, he's a bit older. He's 27. But when you lose a world, and I mean like world-class, experienced centre-back, the only thing you can do to guarantee the same sorts of results is replace him with someone similar. Now, I'm not even saying this guy's as good. He's still can grow in potential, so he's not at his peak, but again, versatility is always in my mind, and this guy can also become and play as a cracking left back. Well, we can start off with a negative. Why not? Because we're not going to win the Champions League in season 10. We go out in the quarterfinals 5-3. Carabao Cup, we can end on a negative note, as we are going to lose 3-1 to Manchester United in the third round. The video and another, keep the negatives coming. I mean, genuinely, the English Cups, are they the hardest trophies to win or something? We're going to lose in the 5th round against Chelsea on penalties. What's going on? Keep them coming. Honestly, keep them coming. Runners up in the Community Shield against Chelsea on penalties. The things we do win, that's probably the little thing to talk about. The Super Cup 3-0 over Newcastle, and the Premier League we are going to win again, and we go invincible. So a very, very small positive to end this 10th season on. Now, looking at it, past winners, we have won at 9 out of 10 times. That is a simple fact. No denying that. We have been incredible in the Premier League. Have we become the best team football has ever seen? No, I don't think we have. Not in, maybe in terms of if a team won the Premier League that amount of times on the bounce and the Champions Leagues 3 times, whatever, maybe. But what I wanted was to win a quadruple pretty much every season, and I think I've got the players to do that. I really, really do. We have lost a couple of players here, though. Hang on a second. Hang on a second here. Transfer history. Oh, it's just Diaz going, okay. Wonder what was going on right there. But we have won a lot of trophies, but we have not got to my consistent quadruple winning stage. But I'm still happy with what we've done with Man City. I think if you show this to a Man City fan, they would take it, because two out of 3 of their signings done okay. I will be honest with you, like, if you look at the faces that were there, it's hard to replicate the experiment in Football Manager unless you lock them in the whole time. Maybe I should have done that. You guys can leave a comment on what you think I should have done. I just think locking in the player, you then don't give the rest of the squad players a full fair chance. You're full in on that player, which is fine if you're building like a youth-only team, something like that. But at the end of the day, Serki is a good player. He was given 2 to 3 years locked in. Then he's got to fight for his future. And yeah, 2 assists in his last season. It's not great. But I do think this Man City team has got a bright future, to be honest with you. And hopefully you have enjoyed the video. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And once as always, guys, you can comment below the team you want to see get rebuilt next up. Let's go.